All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Indian Creek Awards night. As you can see, I have some friends here with me. So,
Hi,
yourself.
I'm Ben.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Blake Pikers, and I'm 7 years old, born May 2012.
So they are here to help out as well. Please let me know in the comments in the chat if you are having trouble hearing me, or if you need me to speak louder or anything like that, because that's probably the easiest way to let me know. But obviously, this isn't the most ideal way to do an awards night, and we would love for it to be different. But I thought we would make the most out of it, even though we can't be together. That we can still celebrate the season that we had and what the team did this year and talk a little bit about it. So that's my for tonight to do that, and hopefully maybe once all this clears up and in the future we can all get together again. But I thought we'd at least do this and hand out the awards tonight. So hopefully everybody is healthy and safe and spend a lot of time at home. So I know we are as well. So with all that being said, let's start with the awards night. So we're going to go over exactly like we usually would and talk about the season and go over them. We're going to talk about each of the players and go from there. So I think it's crazy. We've been watching a lot of Indian Creek basketball games the last week or two. And we were watching the Dakota game the other day, and it's crazy how you watch that game and everybody's celebrating afterwards and hugging and who would have known that 6 days later things would be as different as they are. So it's definitely crazy. It's definitely tonight's awards ceremony by looking back on something that we had talked about going into last awards night. And I remember being up on the podium at the high school and saying that there was a lot of people who had some high expectations for our team this season. And I said, our goal is if we can not only surprise the people that don't know about us, but if we can actually surprise the people that already think we're going to be good, we are doing something really, really special. And I think we sure did that, because I'm going to rattle off some of the accomplishments we had this year. And it starts with the Burney Wilkie championship, and then we had the Marseilles championship, then the Little 10 conference tournament championship, which was the first time we had won that ever in the history of Indian Creek, followed by Little 10 conference champs. Then, to add to that, the undefeated regular season. So to be able to go 30-0 is just incredible. We finished the regular season number 1 in the state in the AP poll. We spent 3 weeks in the Super 25. And if you would have ever asked me, and I've even got the paper right here, if you have ever asked me if Indian Creek would be on this list in the Super 25, it's about so much more than the fact that we won those things and that we had that. It's been unbelievable. And we talked a lot throughout the season with the team and the different, throughout the season as we got more and more attention, and we would do check-ins and we tried to always let the guys know that this is not a typical high school experience, that what we're experiencing was a once in a lifetime thing. And you don't get that very often. I've got the other Chicago Sun-Times paper where we're in here, and who would have ever known that, little Indian Creek High School, we could have gone down Michigan Avenue, went to any newspaper stand on Michigan Avenue and read about Indian Creek High School. That's pretty cool in my opinion. And it has lots to do with the work that they put in. So when I go back to thinking about what we talked about last year leading up to this season, did we surprise the people that even thought we were being good? I don't think anybody could have envisioned what we had. And a lot of that has to go with the support we got. And that's where I want to lead to the next thing, some of the thank yous, because so many people had so much to do with with this season, and I want to make sure I recognize those people and we talk about it. Starting with the whole school atmosphere and the administration, and what Mr. Wells and Miss Montgomery did for us the entire year, supporting us and giving us the opportunity to have this season and be involved was just outstanding. The sports boosters were so key, especially late in helping us in the regionals and beyond. The staff, the teachers in general, I think as especially everyone started to get very excited, and we started to get excited, and I think I talked a lot of basketball with a lot of people as we were going on here. Have to say a big thank you as well to the girls coaching staff. Coach, we do a lot of scouting, and sometimes we can do scouting where teams will send us stuff, but once it gets playoff time, it gets a little bit tougher to do that. And I think, Coach Crutcher, for example, he went all the way to Pearl City for us to scout the regional championship game that Lena Winslow was in. I've never been to Pearl City before, but I have a feeling possible opponents that we would play in a super sectional. It ended up being a very familiar opponent, but we didn't know that at the time. We didn't know that. So he went to every single one of those games. So no matter who we played, we were ready to go. Matt Davis is another one who he is willing to go anywhere for me. And he went to Forreston a couple times. So when you go on Huddle and you see all those different opponent scout films, some are from coaches, but a lot of them are from just people stepping up and willing to help us out. Just all the people. I huge thank you to all the people who donated throughout the season. The dinners, the bus, I can't even name them all off because there were so many, but it is so greatly appreciated. And the coaches appreciate it, the players appreciated it, and just want to say thank you for that, because you helped provide the experience that we had because of that. A lot of times we talked about how these players felt like rock stars throughout the year. A lot of that had to do with because of some of the things that they were receiving. Have to say thanks to Nate Murray, because the pictures he had for us the entire season and what he was able to provide for us. A huge thank you. I still go back and look at those pictures and try to, I still look at those pictures and they're just unbelievable. They're unbelievable. And it's great that the coaches, players, parents, everybody has access to those and can look at those for forever. Another huge thank you I have to give to Grant Schlorf and Braden Todd. And the reason I have to say thank you to the two of them is we have every single one of our games on Huddle, and we can watch those games forever. And the only way we could do that is if we have students filming for us. And especially on a year like this, where there was so much fanfare and the student section was so big at all times, it could have been very easy for them to want to just be in that student section. But they stepped up, and even during the most exciting games, we're sitting there filming. You see the film of Braden, I think it was in the Dakota game. He's sitting with all the Dakota people. So while all his friends are cheering, he stepped up. You see in the NIU game, they are 5 million miles up in the air, but they were still there. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. When you guys become varsity players, you'll see why that's so important. So thank you for that. I have to say thank you to Mr. Mertz too. The amount of support he gives all of us throughout is unbelievable. He does so much for us, and it's so huge. And I think he even stepped it up even more doing the announcing this year, and the atmosphere he brought by being an announcer throughout the entire game, I think was a huge advantage for us throughout our home games, because as you know, our home games especially became just a huge party atmosphere, basically, because everybody was just so excited to be there, and the style we played just allowed for it to be a pretty cool thing. I have to say thank you to these two, and then Mrs. Pikars is across the way. She doesn't want to be on camera, but I personally could not do any of this without them, and they have been unbelievable throughout this entire thing. And every year, but even more, this year with the amount of games that they go to, the amount of times we talk about basketball. it's just to these three right here too. So even to have them sitting next to me, I didn't even have to talk them into it. They even did their hair. They even did their hair for this. So I mean, that's a big deal.
It was worth going to all the games. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. So thank you to them as well. I have to say a huge thank you to the other coaches on the coaching staff, because they are unbelievable. The amount of time they dedicate as well is we talk basketball all the time, whether I'm talking with Coach Poderick and Coach Schrader during the school day, or Coach Glenn, who I think during the season we are having phone conversations pretty much every single night, and we're all watching game film or talking about what would be best for the team. They are so important to make this work. I can't describe it any other way, that I am so thankful to have all of them here and a part of this, because it goes a long way. And thank you to them, because they are so incredibly important. Thank you to the fans. Our fan support was unbelievable, and the amount of nice things that were said to me about our team, we haven't had before, and that says that they're playing the game the right way. But it was one of the great experiences was going into a game. It didn't matter where we were, whether we were at home or River Ridge, knowing we would have the home court advantage, because when we came to a game this year, you weren't just playing Indian Creek, you were playing Indian Creek and their whole entourage that they were bringing with. And that was a huge advantage, especially when we start going. Thank you to the parents, because I know parents, how much of a time commitment it is for you as well. And it's not just from November to March. It's all the way through the summer and the fall, and doing mornings and late nights and traveling. And so thank you, parents, for the support that you gave your sons, and you gave the coaching staff, and because that goes a long way. So thank you. And then finally, the players put in a lot of work, and we're going to talk about the players here in a second. So, but I wanted to thank them too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list off the players, briefly talk about each one of them, and then we've got some awards, and we'll talk about the awards, and we'll kind of go from there. So after I announce each of the players, these guys are going to be my audience, and they're going to clap after I announce the players. You guys ready?
Yep.
You guys ready for this? All right. So our first player that we are announcing is Drew Phipps.
Yay!
Woo! All right, Drew I appreciate it, Drew. I appreciate you being a part of the team, because you are really important for the team. Really important. So thank you. Next one, RJ McCoy. All right, RJ was hurt to start the season, and he had to miss about the first month of the season, but still showed up every day, ready to work, had a great attitude, always was ready to go at practice. And one of the games that stands out to me was the Earlville game, where we had a ton of kids sick, and RJ had to step up and get into the starting lineup and be a starter. And he had not been playing a lot of minutes going into that, and we did not skip a beat. He came in, did his job, played really well, and was just great for us. And that's a lot of why this team was successful, because we had players that were willing to do that. So RJ McCoy, great job. Next one is Zach Bogle. Really glad Zach played this season. He was really good for us. Where he was really good for us, where you were really good, Zach, is in practice, he would push Cam and Drew on a consistent basis. We would be doing drills, and you'd always see either Cam or Drew would have the ball in their hands, and who would be right up on him every single time was Zach. And Zach wasn't scared to push him a little bit, literally and figuratively, and just make their life tough. And you have to have that. And a lot of times Drew and Cam were able to handle pressure in a game because they had been seeing it from Zach the entire time. So I appreciate that, Zach. Next one is Dylan Moore. Dylan loves basketball. You love basketball, Dylan. Dylan loves competing, and it shows every single day. He was ready to go in practice, ready to compete against his teammates, and ready to make himself a better player. It's important in practice to make yourself a better player, and Dylan competed to do that. Next one is Jordan Wortman. Another one that claps are getting louder and louder in the ear. Jordan loves basketball. Talk about somebody who loves basketball and loves competing. And Jordan took advantage of where maybe he didn't get a ton of minutes in the game as a junior. He took advantage of his practice time and made himself a much better player. And that is going to reap a lot of benefits, reap a lot of rewards for him going into his senior year, because he didn't just take his junior year and think, oh, I'm not getting a lot of playing time, I'm not going to work hard. He kept working hard. He kept playing hard against these players every single day and did a really nice job. Next one is Wyatt Curtis. Wyatt Curtis, what a great attitude. Had a great attitude, positive attitude all the time. Courteous, ready to work hard, ready to just be a good team player. It was really nice having Wyatt on the team this year. Next up, Logan Suddeth. Logan's quiet, but Logan is reliable. He is ready to work hard. He is ready to do what's needed for the team. Was at practice every single day. Just kind of did his work, and that's what we asked of him, and he could knock down some shots too. So he did a nice job for us. Did a really nice job. Next is Gage Olson. Gage got hurt the first drill of the first summer practice last year and had to have surgery and was out for quite a while. And it's been a long, slow recovery for him. But I give him a lot of credit. When he was hurt and couldn't play, he was at practice every single day. He would ask, okay, can I do the scoreboard? What can I do to help the team? And then once he was cleared to play, he had a great attitude and just kept working his way into better opportunities. So really appreciate what he did. Next up is Isaac Smith. Isaac's another one who just loves being around basketball. Loved having good basketball conversations with Isaac. He was always working on his game, trying to get better, trying to take advantage of opportunities that he was given. He did a really nice job for us for 4 years, and I enjoyed having Isaac on the team. Next up is Tyler Hauser. Tyler, great attitude, great to have on the team. Another one who will just come and talk basketball with you. We'll talk anything with you, and I think just loved being a part of it. And when it comes down to be successful, and especially when we have a team that has 18 players, we're lucky that there were quite a few games this year where we were able to play all 18 guys, but there are also quite a few where there weren't. These guys right here worked hard in every role that they had. And especially when it came postseason time, the amount of times where we would talk about, okay, this team is doing this is how we need to defend it. And then we'd have some of these guys play those players. They stepped up their game. So then when we did play a Lena Winslow, a Dakota, or whoever, a Rockford Christian Life, we had seen it in practice. And I really appreciate that. And for this to work, for what happened, those guys had to buy in, and I really appreciate it. I know everybody does, and they were all a huge part to this season, huge part. So thank you guys. Thank you. We're not going to go into some of the awards. Some of the awards I'll say quickly. Other ones we're going to talk a little bit, but you'll see why in a second as we go. Hopefully my notes will hold true. So assists. So person with the most assists. This was close. I have the stats over here somewhere. But as you look at some of the game footage and some of the highlights, you can see this person really did a nice job of moving that basketball and getting his teammates open and setting up his teammates to get easy baskets, and was huge for us. So the winner for most assists, award winner for most assists in the season, we'll have a plaque whenever we get back to school, is Drew Gaston.
Yeah.
All right, rebounds. Our rebounding award winner, I think he averaged a little over 10 rebounds per game, which is unbelievable, and that is Cooper Larson.
Yeah.
Our points leader, we had 4 guys average double digits this year in points. That's pretty impressive. And then we had a 5th guy who was at like 7. Really impressive. Our points leader this year He was a 1,000-point scorer. He's the all-time single season scorer in IC history. I think he's the second all-time leading scorer. So points is Cooper Larson. Best defenders. So I kind of gave away right there that it's more than one. And I think anybody that watched us the entire season can agree that it should go to more than one player, because there were two people who were so important for us defensively and were so good for us defensively. So the first one, which we're going to talk more about him in a little bit, is Cam Russell.
Gnarly.
The second one is somebody who, we'll talk about him in a little bit too. So the second one is Tyler Swanson.
Gnarly, dude.
So they were both best defenders. Most improved player. We have two most improved players too. And it is not often, I don't know if it's ever happened before, and this is pretty impressive, where somebody won most improved player 2 years in a row. But this person absolutely deserves it. He came in and was a difference maker for us and played a role as the first guy off the bench, the sixth man, to perfection, and was so good. And I would have so many coaches come up and talk to me about, where the heck did you get the big guy with the tattoos? And I'd say, he's been on the team the whole time. They said, no, there's no way. He did not play for you last year. I go, yeah, he's just taking that next step. And they're like, wow, he is fun to watch, and he is so important for your team. And I completely agree. It's not about stats with Tyler. It's about all the other things he did, both physically, defensively, passing. He was one of our best passers, one of our most important players. So our first most improved player goes to Tyler Swanson.
Tyler, yeah!
Our second most improved player goes to somebody who really found their role as the season went on and was really good for us. And for this to work, and for us to be able to have the success that we had, we talked a lot about it throughout the season, about everybody has to do their part. And if everybody just does their part, we will be good to go, because we fit together like a puzzle piece. And Cooper is better because of Drew, and Drew is better because of Cam. And one of those puzzle pieces was Brennan McNally, and he found his niche. And Brennan can score, but Brennan also can play some defense. And what the reason he got most improved is what started to happen was he started to take his game to the next level on the rebounding side. And I think arguably it was probably our second best rebounder on the season. So the other winner for most improved player goes to Brennan McNally.
Brennan!
All right. Next one is spirit and sportsmanship. So spirit and sportsmanship, we gave that one to two people as well. And spirit and sportsmanship, first one, both of these 100% deserve it. They were incredible the entire season. And I think before I even say the two names, you probably have them in your head right now. Maybe you're even screaming at your screen right now because you know who it is. So the first one I was so happy he decided to come out for his senior year, because he's great to have around and has really matured and just turned himself into a really just good high school kid, and was great to have on the basketball team. So the first winner of the Spirit and Sportsmanship Award is Noah Barton.
Gnarly, dude.
The other one, the passion he had for the game. And not only the passion on the bench, but when he came in, he was a difference maker quite a bit, and would give us those sneaky minutes that you'd look back and say, wow, he was really important tonight, and could knock down a shot if he needed. But he was just an emotional leader for us, both on the court, on the bench. And these are the kind of players you have to have. If you're going to go 35-1, you have to have these kind of players. And the second Spirit and Sportsmanship Award goes to Davis Stryker. All right, let's see. Next one. So all conference, in my opinion, we probably had 6 of the 10 best players. We probably had 6 all conference players that deserve to be on there. We did get 4. We got 4, which is the most we've ever had. We've never had 4. before, but I know I'm a little biased, but I think we could have easily had 6, but we did have 4. So and they were all unanimous. These 4 all got unanimous votes. So the first one is Cooper Larson. The second one is Drew Gaston. The third one is Cam Russell. And the fourth one, who I'm going to talk a little bit about right now, is Michael Lampson. So we can clap.
Woo! Gnarly, all of you.
So all 4 were all conference. So we're going to talk about Michael now. Michael was really, I think, was in the running for most improved as well, because he stepped his game up from his sophomore year to his junior year. He asked what are some of the things he needed to do to get better going into his junior year, and he turned himself into a really, really good shooter. And he was good. He was a streaky shooter as a sophomore. He was a weapon this year, a weapon that everybody had to account for, to the point where you could see, even when Michael maybe didn't score a ton, teams had to account for him, and it opened up other openings for other people just because Michael was on the court. So Michael absolutely deserved to be all conference and did an outstanding job for us in this entire year of just being a threat. He shot 40% from 3, and he made 80 something threes. That's, for high school, that's really good. That's really good. So so well done, Michael. Well done. So we got all right. So we also had 3 players be named to the All-State team. And as you've probably seen me tweet out and stuff, there's a lot of All-State teams, but we're going to talk about the IBCA All-State. IBCA All-State, we have never had anybody make IBCA an IBCA team. We've had people make honorable special mention, but nobody in Indian Creek history has ever made a team. This year we had 2 players make teams and 1 get honorable mention. So the first one that we're going to talk about is who made honorable mention All-State, IBCA All-State, is Cam Russell. Cam, talk about somebody that was important to our team in so many ways. He sets the tone for us defensively. Offensively, he's so smart. He knows exactly what he wants to do, has so much heart, and is, a lot of other coaches a lot of times would say that's your glue. That Cam is your glue that holds this together. And I think that's a very accurate representation. He does so much for us and is such a great basketball player for us, both offensively, defensively, and can turn a game around like that. A lot of times our runs, those runs that we would get that would make a 15-point lead go to 25, or even a 5-point lead go to 15, started with something he did and got it going. So he 100% deserved the All-State recognition that he got, because he was great. And what's great about Cam is he's just going to get even better next year, because I know how hard he works. So he was our first one. Our second All-State player got 3rd team All-State. So like I said, nobody in Indian Creek history has ever gotten an All-State, made an All-State team. And he was one of 2 that got it this year. So our second one is Drew Gaston. Drew is another one who took his game to the next level from sophomore year to junior year. Man, did Drew got so much better. And both offensively, defensively, got bigger, faster, stronger. His jump shot got much more reliable. He ended up shooting, I want to say, about 35% from 3, which is really good. Also, some of the most clutch shots that we've had. You look back at that Dakota game, that 3 that Drew shot. That's one of those where it's on the fast break and transition like that. And when he first starts doing it, you're like, no, and then he drains it. You're like, yes. And then if you look at that game-winning shot he had against Dakota, the degree of difficulty that had was unbelievable, and he just drained it so calmly, knocked down his free throw so calmly, and also took the next step with getting his teammates open looks as well. The amount of transition buckets he got his teammate Drew was huge for us next year. And just like I said with Cam, he's another one who is going to take that next step and be just an outstanding player for us next year and be really good. So that's Drew. And then the third one who made first team IBCA All-State is Cooper Larson. Well, we got one more and then we'll talk about Cooper here. Academic all-conference. So we had we had 4 players make academic all-conference. So to make academic all-conference, you have to have a 3.5 GPA or above, a cumulative GPA or above. So our 4 players that made academic all-conference are Cooper Larson, RJ McCoy, Cam Russell, and Logan Sutter.
Yeah.
All right, and our MVP. So I think we know who our MVP is, and I'm going to go over some of his accolades that he's gotten this year, and it's Cooper Larson who did so much for us, and here's just some of his accolades so far that he's received. He was the MVP of the Marseilles tournament. He was MVP of the Little 10 tournament. He was unanimous Little 10 all conference. He was Beacon News all area. He was Daily Chronicle Player of the Year, second team IBCA All State, first team AP All State, first team Chicago Sun-Times All State. He's the single season scoring leader in IC history. He's second all-time leading scorer. And then the one that I think is the coolest, I found out just the other day, is in Illinois, they have a Mr. Basketball award that goes out to the best player so every state has a Mr. Basketball. And so you vote on who the best player is in that state. And every year as a coach, I get the ballot and I look at the ballot and I can vote for it. So I got my ballot this year and looked at the nominees, and I'm scrolling through, and all of a sudden I stop and I'm like, wait, I know that guy. And it was Cooper Larson, and Cooper Larson made the ballot for Mr. Basketball of Illinois. And the reason that's such a big deal is you look at some of the previous Mr. Basketball winners. Derrick Rose has been a Mr. Basketball winner. Kevin Garnett, Jabari Parker, the who's who of Illinois basketball. So for him to even be nominated for that is an incredible honor. So, and I think what sets Cooper apart, he has all these accolades, but I think, you know, if we were in the gym and we were talking about this, and I'm sure he's thinking this right now, he's probably thanking his teammates and saying, if I didn't have the quality teammates that I had, this would not be possible. And that's the kind of person Cooper is, and why we were able to have so much success. When a player can have all of these accolades right here, but still talk about the team, good things are going to happen. Good things are really going to happen. And I think that's what set Cooper apart. And that's what set this team apart, is it started with him, and then everybody else just did their part. Everybody did their part and turned it into just a special season that nobody is going to ever forget. And the reason is the players did it the right way, and the players were easy to root for. We always talked about be easy to root for. Be a team that's easy to root for, do things, and be a team that Indian Creek community is excited to be about. And I think we accomplished that. I think we accomplished that this year. So yeah. One more award that I want to hand out, or that I'm going to hand out on behalf of Doug Bend. So we have the Harold Bend Perseverance Award that is handed out to a senior every single year. And usually Doug Bend comes. Unfortunately, obviously, given the situation, he can't. But he did give me something to read off. So I'm going to read off this that comes directly from Doug Bend, and then I will say who the award goes to. So this is from Doug Bend. Oh, what a year! This basketball team was the greatest team Indian Creek has ever had. Also, probably the best coaching I have ever seen. I swear it's really on there. I didn't just make that up. I swear. Great job, everyone. You captured the hearts of your Indian Creek community. You had a great balance of players as far as the juniors and seniors. Each community had a good representation also. Coaches, players, and fans will remember your team forever. The Harold Bend Perseverance Award goes to the senior player that best exemplified my brother. He was not by any means the best player or the best scorer or best rebounder of his team, but Harold just always gave 110%, whether it was scrambling after a loose ball or causing a turnover. Every team needs a player like that. It doesn't always show up on the scoreboard and doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. It's my family's honor to present this year's Harold Bend Perseverance Award to Noah Barton. Congratulations, Noah.
Noah? Finally, Dad!
That is a very, very, very well-deserved honor. I 100% agree that Noah gets that. So congratulations, Noah. that's a big one right there. That's a really big one. So, so with that being said, I think I have talked enough. I see something. Oh, gee, I see something coming behind me, and that is my big head right behind me. Of course, that seems to find its way around our house quite a bit. Everybody, thank you for everything, and thank you for making this season so special, because it has been a season. There's had so special because there's so many people that did, and it's a season that we won't ever forget. I made a highlight tape as well of kind of our season. I tried getting it to come on YouTube, but I couldn't get it, so I'm going to tweet that out. I put music to it and everything, so see how I did. But check out that highlight tape too. I put a lot of our best highlights, and I'm sure at this point nobody's listening to me anymore because my big head is right behind me. But thank you. Hopefully everybody stays safe, stays healthy, and we can get together soon and go from there. So you guys got anything else left to say?
Congrats, everyone won an award. Good season, guys.
Make sure you're safe.
All right. I'm going to end this now. Thank you, guys. No more speeches?
Like and subscribe.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you.
Ow.
It was still